Hello, my name is Dr. Giuseppe Paladini, founder of Stepping Bricks, and I get asked this question a lot of time. How do I get started in property? Now, instead of me talking to a camera on my own, I decided to take Lucy and to ask me any questions about property investing from a complete beginner. Hello, Lucy.
Hi, Giuseppe. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Good.
So, what questions do you have about property investing?
Well, I guess first of all, I would start from the beginning. I live with my parents and I am looking to make more money. So I would love to invest in property. However, I don't have a lot of money in the bank as a 23-year-old girl who used to be a waitress and has just started in a new job. So please, can you help me?
Yes, so first of all I would ask a few questions, about your situation so I can understand, because there are about 100 property strategies. So it's a bit overwhelming for a complete beginner, specifically because you think, okay, this is too much for me, where do I start? I might never start then. The good news is, yes, you can start. The first probably strategy will be buy to let in your case, because you're just starting your property ladder. And there is a traditional way of buying properties, and there is a more creative way of buying properties. They're both completely legal, but it's just like millionaires and billionaires, they use more creative ways of buying properties, because then they can scale up their business. Make sense? So for your case, you're living with your parents, so that's good news because you don't have expenses, unless they're charging you rent.
No, rent free. Don't tell them. I'm rent free right now.
So then the next step would be, you don't need to answer this question, but do you have any savings in the bank? That would be one. Obviously, you worked for a few years as a waitress, so you probably have savings in the bank. Maybe it's not enough to buy a property because you need 25% of the deposits, the value of the property. So it depends on the type of properties, depends where you're buying, different locations in the UK can cost quite significantly different. But let's say £80,000, £100,000 property on average for first time buyer for buy to let. You will need about 25% deposits. That's between 20 and 25,000 pounds, okay? Plus legals, tax, etc. Roughly, we talk about 35,000 pounds.
Okay.
Now so that starts to become like a bit
scary. Daunting, yeah.
But most beginners in your position, they might ask the bank of mom and dad. That would be one of the main sources of deposits. And it's perfectly legal because that's a gifted deposit, so they can help you with that. For people that don't know what a gifted deposit is, it's a document they're going to sign and say, here is the money because I'm a blood relative.
Okay.
You cannot get gifted deposit from somebody in the street. It needs to be a blood relative or a spouse or a partner.
Interesting.
And then they just sign the paper saying, this is yours, I don't have any interest in the property anymore, you don't have to pay back. Now, regardless if then you have a different agreement with them, but the bank needs that, which means then it's a legal document where they cannot claim the property from the bank.
Okay.
Because they will have first security on the property, the first charge. So for you would be, if you were to get part of the deposit from your parents plus your savings, then obviously you get into the property ladder. Now the real question is, how do you scale it from there, right?
Yes, yeah, definitely.
So, but rather than focusing on, how do I build a multi-million pound property portfolio, we always need to start from one. Now, most people wait forever to buy the first one because they're thinking too ahead. So my advice to you would be, just focus on one, find one that you like in terms of numbers, okay? You don't have to like the building, you don't have to like the roof or, the color of the carpet.
So how would you know if a property was good enough to buy for investment?
Well, good question. First of all, you need to focus on the numbers, the figures. So how much you're paying, how much is needed in terms of renovation costs, obviously the tax when you buy, but also how much rent is going to give you. Because there's no point in having a higher mortgage than the rent, because then you're losing money. It's not an investment anymore. So through a deal analyzer that we have for our students, and they always put all the details in, they see exactly how much money they're going to get at the end of the month. Now, in roughly the properties that we source for our students, or the properties they source for themselves, because we teach them as well how to do it, they give them between 400 and 500 pounds a month net. That's after all expenses, okay? After mortgage, insurance, estate agencies, vacancies, and repairs or maintenance costs, etc. So roughly it's about 400/500, depends on the type of property. So once you run all your numbers to know your ROI, return on investment, then if it makes sense, financially, then yes, you can buy it. Now, people probably get confused with ROI. ROI is basically your what you're getting back with the money you're putting in. Do you have savings in the bank?
I have a cash ISA currently that I've got money in. It is 3.75%.
That's the interest they're going to give you. Perfect. Yeah. So a property, that's your return on investment, okay, your ROI. So the bank is giving you 3.75% on the money you have in the ISA account, which sometimes you have limit of the amount of money you can put in, limit of the amount of money you can take out, and limit as well on the timeline. Sometimes you cannot touch them for 12 months. So if you think about 3.75%, a property should give you around 15, 20, 25% return on investment.
Wow, okay, yeah.
So that's a multiplier of what you have, okay? So that's why many people start to become interested in investing in property.
Yeah, when you put it into that perspective, that is completely different. Yeah, wow.
And obviously, you might ask, what's the risk, right? Because putting money in the bank, it's safer.
It's safer in there. It's
than
secure.
Put it in the property. Exactly opposite, actually, because the banks is not really safe. The banks generally, they borrow money from you and then they lend money 10 times of what they borrow from you to other people for 10 times the interest.
Oh, okay.
So they're giving you 3.75%. If you start asking them money for a car, a loan for a car, they're going to charge you probably 15%. Okay, so it's not 10 times, but it's 5 times that, more or less. So that means the same money have a different value now. They're charging you to borrow the money from them, but it's your money at the beginning. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So historically, there were crashes in the bank, so the money were not really backed up. They were not safe, as everybody believes. In property, it's a different matter, because you can always mitigate those risks. Let's say if the rent, maybe you're afraid of the rent not being paid and so on, you can take a rent guarantee insurance, or if you build multiple assets, then of course one can pay for the other one, or you can do proper screening. I mean, we are in a letting agency, and all the screenings that we do, so we try to select the right tenants for the right property, so that they can live happily there. We treat them well, they treat us well, so it's a win-win situation. So there are ways to mitigate that, so the risk is really minimal compared to keeping the money in the bank. Because the main thing, Lucy, by keeping the money in the bank, you're shrinking their value.
Oh, okay.
Because of inflation.
Right, okay, right.
So money is there, it's just not doing anything, right? So you think you're getting an interest back, 3.75, but the inflation is 5%. So you're losing money every year.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
That's the whole point.
Interesting.
It is. And it is appealing to know that the bank is giving you some money. I celebrated the first time I put money in the ISA. After a year, I think I celebrated. I received a letter to say you just earned £50 in interest, and I was like, "Where do I spend the money?"
Yeah, it's free money.
Yeah. But it was crazy if you think what a property can give you now.
Yeah.
Obviously, you need to invest, wisely, sustainably, with a structure, with a mentor potentially, somebody that can guide you through the whole process. Because buying your first property is very exciting, but you need to do it right.
Yeah.
And remember, Lucy, you never make money when you sell. You make money when you buy a property. Because if you buy it right, then the property will compound in value over the years, and then all the profit is yours.
Okay, I'll remember that one.
Okay.
Definitely, yes.
So when are you buying your next one?
Great question. That's probably the next. That's the next. The next step is I would be scared to take the leap. I would be scared to take the jump. I'm jumping into the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have much knowledge of properties at all. I'm learning things even in this interview.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't even know where to start, really.
Okay.
I guess I don't know where I would look. I don't know. Well, now I know where I would get the money. So yeah, I wouldn't know where to start, basically.
Yeah, that's understandable. So obviously, the very first things you need to consider is how much deposit I have to buy a property. By the way, there are strategies where you don't need a deposit, where you can invest in property without buying a property, so you can control it. Similar to what Uber does with cars. They don't have any cars, but they connect the drivers with the people that are traveling, and they take a fee in between. So in property, you can do something like that as well. It's called property sourcing, where you can find properties from a seller and then connect the buyer, and then you take the fee in between without buying. So then you can build a cash pot of money, and then you can use that cash pot to build your own portfolio. Okay. That's one of the 100 strategies. There are many. So first thing is the money, financial side. Second thing is the area. Where are you buying the property? The third thing is what strategy you're going to use. The fourth thing it would be the mortgages. What kind of mortgage I need to use, because it's a buy-to-let mortgage. It's different from a residential mortgage. Okay.
And how is that? Sorry.
And so on. So buy-to-let mortgage, generally you need 25% deposit, and it's just for rental. While your residential mortgage, you could put 5% deposit. It's way cheaper. Because it's for you to live in. So especially as a first-time buyer, you get a lot of advantages. Now, if you buy a buy-to-let before your first property, then you lose that ability to apply for first-time buyer advantages. However, if you buy in a limited company, then you're still eligible, because the limited company is a separate legal entity. So you're still eligible to apply for first-time buyer advantages.
So would you recommend that then?
Limited company, 100%. Yes.
Yeah. So
that's efficient.
So what benefits would I get from the limited company, apart from obviously putting the property into the limited company?
That's a great question as well. Well, tax. It's very tax efficient. It's a ring-fenced legal entity. If something happens, it's just the limited company. But also, in terms of tax, you pay corporation tax on the profit and not income tax. If you were to own 50 properties on your own name, and you also have a salary, that means you're paying 40-45% tax on the income. So half of it is going to HMRC.
Wow, okay.
So if you have a limited company, obviously you're paying corporation tax, which is between 19 and 25%. So that's a lot more appealing to investors, but only on the profit, which means you might have a gross income of, £50,000 in a year, or £100,000 in a year. Then you reduce all your costs, mortgage payments, any business related costs, and then what's left is taxable at corporation tax, the percentage. And then that's your the money you pay to HMRC every year, but it's way less because it's a limited company rather than personal income. Okay. Any final questions?
I think that's a good start. I might have to come back to when I want to expand my next properties and everything. I'll come back for another interview to find all that out, but I think that's good for now.
Good, sounds good.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Okay guys, so if you enjoy this kind of interviews, then we can do more of this with more insights. Please write the comments below in the comment sections with your questions, and I'll be happy to cover them next time. My name is Dr. Giuseppe Paladini. I'm here with Lucy, and I hope you enjoyed the interview, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye for now.